Hello and welcome to Profiles in Risk. This is your host, Tony Cañas. And today I have with me Niji Sabharwal. That one of the hardest ones I've done in a while, but I think I nailed it. Niji, thank you for joining me today. How's it going?
Pretty good. Thanks for having me, Tony.
Awesome. And Niji is co-founder and CEO at AgentSync. And I've got to say, you guys have done a great job getting out there, because the two InsurTech conferences I've gone to this year, AgentSync has been very, very present, and you guys threw the best happy hour at InsurTech Hartford. So thank you very much. We always give the guest the chance to give the elevator pitch. So what is AgentSync?
Yeah, thanks for that, Tony. We have an internal campaign we're calling AgentSync Everywhere. So we're trying to get out there and hit the road as much as we can this year, now that things are starting to open back up. So in a nutshell, AgentSync is a insurance producer management and compliance platform for agencies, MGAs, for any kind of wholesalers, as well as carriers. So we help these folks get insurance agents and agencies onboarded, contracted, background check, all of the state license credentials, all the state appointments, automatically verified and processed in the background. So basically getting agents, from hand raiser to ready to sell as quickly and as painlessly as possible.
Okay. So I never worked on the agency or brokerage side, but I have served them as a sales manager from the carrier. I've served them as an underwriter. I've served them helping them find staff or recruiting for them, and the appointment process has always been tricky. And in fact, if you went back on my LinkedIn and my Facebook, you'd find a few posts from me when I was a sales manager, basically saying, "Hey, future sales managers or new sales managers, as soon as you accept the sales manager role, the first thing you should do is fly to headquarters and take the licensing person out to lunch, because you are going to need them." All right, like there's always issues with licensing, and appointments. So I'm glad that somebody's doing something about it. And I don't even know how messy it looks from the perspective of the agents, or from or even worse, MGAs that are in the middle, right? But
it's bad for everyone.
That's been my experience, right? So what did the world of onboarding, contracting, making sure your producers were compliant, what did that look like before AgentSync, and what does it look like now with AgentSync?
Yeah, absolutely. So, this problem problem statement as a whole is just such a nasty paper chase at the end of the day. It's incredibly important, very high stakes, but at the end of the day, it's, you just need to get it done. And there's, most of the time, nothing very strategic about it. It's just a bunch of paperwork, it's following up with departments of insurance, asking clarifying questions. Insurance in this country is regulated on a 50-state basis. So it's 50 different sets of regs, education requirements, non-resident license requirements, even they have retaliatory fees. So if you're a resident of one state, you need to actually pay more than if you're a resident of a different state to get a non-resident license in another state. You have to get affiliated. The agency needs to get affiliated for all the states that require that. And then the carrier needs to submit appointment paperwork on your behalf to the Department of Insurance, and then pay a fee every year to keep you active. So it's this really nasty kind of web. I did
not know that. A quick pause there. That is very interesting. I did not know that. So as a former sales manager, it was a nightmare to get permission to appoint a new agent. And I always wondered why we were so, like, from my perspective as sales manager, if you're already in the system, if you're already appointed and you're not writing much, like, yeah, I'm happy to give you a call, see if I can get you to write more, or go visit you or whatever, see if I can get you to write more. But if you just don't have the business that's a good fit for us,
Yeah.
we already went through the
Yeah,
trouble of appointing you, right? So I had no idea there was a cost per year. Okay, interesting.
Oh yeah. So I mean, there's two real costs, right? There's the state fees you got to pay, and then there's the actual overhead for the team that needs to, be turning the cranks and keeping the licensing and appointment program running. And those two costs together are really what creates that bottleneck and that vetting process, where a lot of big carriers won't just go and appoint you if you knock on their door and ask, because one, they want to vet you out. Yeah, they want to vet you out, make sure you're actually going to submit business. If they're going to take on this burden and the compliance burden, as well as all the costs to maintain your profile kind of in perpetuity. And so we found a really interesting segment of the market that frankly is bit unsexy and solving these problems, but in very sexy ways.
So hold on. The slogan should be the unsexiest part of an unsexy industry. And I think it sure is very sexy, but in general, that's the perception.
Yeah, I think I've said that, said those words in that order before. And at the end of the day, it creates this huge bottleneck for growth. So if we could create a platform, which we have, to bring these folks on completely effortlessly, with a really nice kind of curated broker experience where they come in, they could self-serve contracting. We pull in basically with their national producer number, unique identifier for everyone. We pull in all their credentials, profile information. We'll pre-fill the contract, kick off the background check. We'll automatically verify licenses to the states they chose, and then we submit the appointments in the background automatically. So basically getting them fully self-serve from when they knock on the door to when they're ready to sell. And then we also do just-in-time appointments, which takes that burden off the carrier to pay those fees for the states that allow it. So that means that the producer can wait until they submit a piece of business before the carrier needs to file the paperwork. But operationalizing that is a nightmare if you don't have real-time data. Since our platform comes out of the box with a real-time PIR integration, we have all that information up to date at all times, so we can automate that entire process all the way through. And the future, the way we see it, is carriers will no longer need to put this big bottleneck into the system and just allow producers to come with business as it pops up, and they'll get them appointed, same day, all as part of an automated flow.
Same day. Okay, so is anybody there? Is any carrier that you're working with at the point where a same day appointment is possible, or currently?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we did a press release recently with Senior Life. Carrier's been around a long time, but they are probably one of the most innovative carrier partners we've worked with, where they said, what can you do for us? We want to take this process that was taking them a lot longer and reduce it down to a couple days, and we're able to get it down to same day, fully self-serve. We've gotten these really great kind of testimonials from producers, or really stories where they're able to bring a piece of business, go through the onboarding process, and then get dropped into the quoting portal and then submit business same day.
Fantastic. When I was at Nationwide, this was 7 years ago, probably 7 or 8 years ago, 2014 or so, 2013 or so, 2013, 2014. Anyway, as a sales manager, I remember being told it cost us $100,000 to appoint a new agent, and I was like, how?
Yeah, that's sets a new record for me, at least.
It sounded crazy, and maybe it wasn't an accurate number. It was just what they told us, so that we would be careful with the appointments. But yeah, it's definitely a process that nobody likes, a process that nobody thinks there's no value add to, right? It can only be
it can only hurt you.
It can only, exactly, it can only hurt you. So if AgentSync can make this process transparent, right? It can make this process painless, that in itself is a big win.
Absolutely. And yeah, we're doing both sides of it, right? Both on the carrier side that, wants to make these products available, and then producer side that poor producer needs to go and repeat that same process for the 50 carriers that they work with. And it, takes on average for the carriers that we polled about 40 days to get producers from when they raise their hand to ready to sell, no joke, in all the states that they need. And so if we're talking about that 40-day lag period times 50 carriers that they need to work with, it's just such a nightmare and such a paper chase and an inefficiency that we're able to just apply not rocket science, but modern technology to solve this problem for both sides of that network.
Okay. What does the implementation look like? This sounds like something that plugs in pretty easily, because it doesn't need to talk to every system. It just needs to talk to kind of the producer management.
Correct. So most of our customers actually stand up as a standalone, and then we can integrate to anything under Sun. So whether it be AMS or even a HRS like Workday Upstream to automatically onboard producers within AgentSync. Then we integrate the policy admin systems, commission systems, you name it, so that we can do kind of real-time verification at that last step, which is commission payment.
Okay.
The implementation time on average is, I just looked it up while you asked my question, 66 days on average right now, but it really depends on the complexity. We've gotten customers stood up within a week or two. If there's going to be a very complicated integration kind of roadmap, it could take longer. It will take longer.
What's the revenue model like? Is it per agent? Is it per user? Is it per month? Is it like how do you charge us for to take this pain away?
Yeah, so super simple, per active agent per month. That's it. So we looked at the market, and nobody's doing anything very simple. It's most of the invoices are impossible to make heads or tails of. You'll see 20 different line items, all these transaction fees baked in. So we wanted to make it really simple for our consumers, and we'll figure out all the complexity in the background. Just have a simple per agent per month price.
Okay. Is there a minimum number of agents in my distribution for you guys to be willing to work with me, or are you okay with small carriers, small agencies?
Yeah, so typically I would say it's closer to like mid-market to enterprise to really large carrier is where our customer base landed. Because at the end of the day, if you have a 2-person broker shop and you're only licensed in 4 states, probably not the most complicated thing in the world to keep that validated and up to date. But we do have as small as 5-person agencies that are selling across multiple states that have really complex contracting requirements, and then we actually go get all the licenses too through the platform. So you can apply for licenses, apply for 50 licenses in 1 click. So it makes sense, I'd say, for 5-person broker shops up. And then we also have 15 or so publicly traded carriers as customers as well.
I like that slogan, 50 licenses in 1 click.
Yeah.
Okay. So how did the idea happen? How did you realize this was a problem in the industry?
Yeah, so complicated story. I joined a company called Zenefits about 2014 to lead the sales strategy and operations team. We grew way too quickly, and ended up facing some pretty serious producer licensing violations across pretty much every jurisdiction. And I was asked by the CEO to partner up with our general counsel and our GR and legal teams to get arms around the issue, build a plan for remediation, then go execute on it. And was really kind of thrown in headfirst into this the wonderful world of insurance distribution, really the underbelly of how producers get onboarded and really are managed, both between the MGAs and carriers, and realized that this is a hugely underserved idea, and its problem is ubiquitous to agencies, MGAs, and carriers. So yeah, after we got through the woods with the licensing issues at Zenefits, we settled all of them. Ended up leaving the company. Zenefits was gracious enough to sign the IP over to me because we ended up building a basically license verification tool within our own instance of Salesforce at Zenefits, and that's where the wheels started turning in my head. And fast forward 22 months later, when we got through the woods there, left the company to start AgentSync. I actually started with my wife, who's a co-founder and CTO.
Awesome, awesome. So I am really curious. So before Zenefits, you came from LinkedIn. So coming from a very modern company like LinkedIn, going into insurance, were you like, holy crap, this is messy and antiquated? And now Zenefits wasn't insurtech, so their systems were not antiquated, but were you like shocked by the complexity of over a crazy industry?
A little bit. So, Zenefits customer base was small businesses. So had exposure to the industry through all the carrier partners that we had, and obviously the benefits portion, the health benefits portion of the Zenefits offering. But it only really scratched the surface then. Jumping into in a gear with AgentSync, we really start peeling back the layers of the onion and realize that this industry it's massive, like just massive. The amount of players, the amount of dollars that are going through this industry are staggering, and the amount of focus from technology just in general, and specifically around kind of back office software, also staggering. There's just very few players out there, and the bar is just incredibly low. I think everyone can agree on that. It's not a spicy topic.
Yeah, for the technology. Yeah, no, it really it's almost funny how on one hand you see Geico ads everywhere and State Farm's ads everywhere, kind of thing. So some parts of insurance are very visible, but nothing compared to the reality of the monster, right? There are like 2,000 PNC carriers of different sizes. There's 20,000 plus agents and brokers. Yes, and it 10 years ago, it was all running not on 15-year-old technology, it was all running on 50-year-old technology that was home built by each of them, right? And so yeah, it has been a massive process. And my very good friend Nick Lamparelli, who ran this podcast for the first couple of years, likes to say that like you don't have to dislodge State Farm to build a great business here. Like one little piece of the process is enough to build a successful company, and because that is how much market there is. And what you guys are doing, you touch every carrier, every broker, every wholesaler. Like everybody has licensing with 50 some different jurisdictions. So yeah, you're attacking an area of the business that everybody needs, that is so important and so deeply unsexy that you're just not going to have a lot of competition. Yeah, just a brilliant idea. Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really the fragmented nature of the industry that's made it so complicated to inflict any sort of large disruption when it comes to technology. I mean, you have all the different players from the agencies to all the wholesalers in the middle to carriers across every line of business. It's it's a lot of different connection points in the network, and we're really kind of excited and proud to be the most highly valued private company that's focused on insurance infrastructure. And so we see the path forward in the future to really be built on commoditizing all the different components of the value chain when it comes to sales and marketing, compliance, quoting, underwriting, reinsurance, claims. There's so many different components that every new company needs to go build from scratch, right? There's very little off-the-shelf software that you can buy that works really well and that works well together. So every new insurance company is reinventing the wheel, 12, 15 different times. And so we've, in a very humble way, we've tackled a pretty narrow problem area. I mean, we have 220 employees that are focused on just producer onboarding management compliance. And we're, really trying to nail that specific problem and then commoditize that so that, others like us can come along and do the same for, for underwriting, for claims, for quoting. And then somebody is going to come along and stitch them all together in a really interesting way. And I think, InsurTech, or in the InsurTech revolution that we see in the last 5 years or so, it's just the beginning. We're just scratching the surface. I think once there's actually good infrastructure to build, a big business to change the way that insurance works, that, until we reach that point, which I think is coming in the next 10 years here. But until we reach that point where, we're just optimizing kind of small pieces of that value chain.
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. By the way, quick question. Do you also do licensing for the excess and surplus side for the ENS? Okay, perfect.
Yeah, we do. And adjusters as well.
Okay, yeah, I think that's a little easier. The ENS side is real messy.
Yeah.
So fantastic. So basically any insurance licensing / compliance. Got it.
But no tax filing for surplus lines. We haven't touched that yet. We probably won't, to be honest.
Okay. Like
it's a nasty piece of work.
Okay, Niji, thank you so much for joining me today. A great conversation. Look forward to see you guys continue to grow. Congratulations on the unicorn status. And yeah, great to have you. And this last little part about the future of InsurTech was fascinating.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for having me. And a quick shameless plug: we're hiring. So check out our website. We're hiring across basically every function. So please check it out.
And you guys are Denver based, right?
We're Denver based, but we have about 30% of our team remote.
Okay, that's fantastic. Awesome. So check them out. I will include the website on the show notes, although it's very simple: agentsync.io. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Tony.